I believe they would call this vanilla agility with extra steps. Oh no, that's vanilla Meabs. We just have a Cecil hero. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever time it might be for you or for me. I'm Scar. I'm joined by Organ Mike on commentary. We've got Antidale making everything light up. We've got Frankie Bones making the key items light up. We're looting for keys. How are you doing tonight, Mike?
I'm doing okay, Scar. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. This is I would say that Rhybon and xPankraz are among, they're the best runners currently playing the game. So this is going to be hopefully a very tight match. Game one had some jokes on the side of the runners. But hey, we know where the monster boxes are now. Hopefully.
Are they where we expect them to be if we were, say, playing the regular game?
They are, and their contents, well, the monster contents are what we would expect them to be if we were doing, say, a vanilla speedrun. Though I don't think they do any of the monster boxes in the vanilla speedrun.
I would imagine that would be slow in the vanilla speedrun. But here, they might be holding back the key items that they need to complete these objectives.
Yes, and I've been informed that key items are pretty important.
While they do help us progress forward through the game, although we don't need that many to complete these objectives, 4 of those objectives can be completed with 1 key item alone. A Darkness Crystal holding back 4, half the goals. Completing
Yeah.
Cave Bahamut, the Vanilla White Spear Altar, Vanilla Ribbon Room, and the Giant of Babel, which is fascinating. So we do need to find that Darkness Crystal. I imagine that will be high priority for these runners.
And they're starting. Who's joining
There we
them?
go. And wandering in with that Cecil, we will find a child, Rydia. And it looks like could be Bacon there, and a rat tail. Well,
Good old Bagan. That's honestly, Bagan is a boss that I personally detest, and so seeing him in his vanilla location where he's scaled kind of low is pretty nice.
seeing how much damage he did to me when I played the game proper, yeah, I could definitely see loathing Baigan. Kind of a stopping point in the vanilla game. That rat tail, though, does make that hook that much more interesting.
Yeah, we could get like Pinktail into Rattail, or Rattail into Pinktail. And with the weighted treasure and knowing where the monster boxes are, Eblin is, by and large, by far, the go-to spot for loot. It is the intent of T-Pro to push you to Eblin Castle, and it's supposed to be offset by the monster boxes being in random locations, but we decided not to do that with the K-Miab edition.
That makes a certain amount of sense. You don't want to have to go hunting for the boxes as well as for key items behind them.
Well, the reasoning, at least from the event team perspective, was that with K-Moon, when you have K-Moon and K-Miab, the monster boxes in the LST, Bimmy and Jimmy, Jimmy and Jimmy, behemoths are effectively in the incentive pool when without K-Moon they wouldn't be. And having the runners know where those very dangerous monster boxes are was something we felt was the necessary trade-off. Like, I don't think we could have gotten away without Vanilla Miab on the plus K Miab.
Having to search for where the monster boxes are could be a problem. So having cleared Eblan Castle, Pankraz is heading to Mount Hobbs, probably to pick up a character, and Rhybon is going to Damcian to raid that treasury too, since looting one abandoned castle just isn't enough, I suppose.
Yeah, with the min tier 3 that we've got for ZZ6, Damcian Basement has been very, like, it hits quite often, and with the minimum tier 3, even if it's junk that's valuable. I think the cheapest tier 3 item is like 1,000 gold.
So up on Mount Hobbs, we have Bahamut and Sid. And interestingly, in the basement of Damcian Castle, I saw an Earth Hammer pop up. So Pankraz is going to be challenging this Bahamut to see if he can keep this Sid. I imagine it probably... Yeah, there he goes. Won't take long.
Yeah, Pangras got a Dwarf Axe out of Eblin. So
Eblin,
equipping that, if you equip that on Sid mid-fight, it does drop his agility, but it doesn't drop his relative agility. So effectively a character's speed in the fight is calculated only at a few spots, and changing your equipment is not one of those spots.
So Rhybon, having launched the hovercraft, is now going to go to Hobbs, and Pankraz is going to check the Antlion Cave.
Yeah, these are very standard openings. There wasn't anything like a early Magma Key to push them anywhere else, really.
It'd be tough to go very far with that very weak Rydia still.
Yeah,
we haven't
Dark
seen
Knight
much
Rydia isn't a very strong start, other than Rydia DKC did start with a Black Sword, which is DKC's best weapon, and on its own a very good early game weapon.
Ooh, Mum Bomb in the Antlion spot.
This is patently annoying, because you're gonna have to deal. You're gonna take the explode. It's not gonna do a lot of damage, and I believe could it be a Dark Wave even just to. I think that's what Pankraz is thinking of, because he's making sure to heal somebody up.
That would make sense. Hopefully that Dark Wave would sweep the bombs, you figure? Rhybon, by the way, taking out Bahamut and claiming that Sid. And one Dark Wave does sweep those bombs away for Pankraz. Getting Rydia to warp at a very convenient time. And finding the Twin Harp. Hello, that puts Cave Magnus into play very quickly.
Yeah, this isn't the party I want to take into Cave Magnus. So I imagine both runners will be doing the entirety of Ordeals before even thinking about Cave Magnus. And here's Pankraz, man of the people, looting the Carter Administration chest, named as such since nobody's looted it since the Carter Administration. Just a heal pot today.
1980 wasn't that long ago.
In the grand scheme of things, it was not.
I'm glad to hear that as someone from 1982 myself. Pankraz is headed to Fabul to check out what that fight's going to be like, I'm sure. As Rhybon starts his Mum Bomb fight.
Yeah, starting with a Black Sword makes the overworld not necessarily free, but very manageable, because with DKC being your anchor, he's going to have 15 plus, maybe even 16 or 17 at this point agility, and because the boss's turn order is effectively relative to the heroes, it's the early spots are slow, because everything was balanced around you having, everything up to Fabul is balanced around you having Dark Knight Cecil without the Black Sword.
Makes a certain amount of sense. Rhybon using the Earth Hammer instead of a Dark Wave, because Rhybon has an Earth Hammer and Pankraz does not. And who is attacking Fabul today? We've got we've got
An old man in a purple robe.
Leviathan. Coming to raise the moat level. Anchor's making use of a dancing dagger. We found a few Azuras as well and an Odin out there. And, we found Starveils for sale.
Yeah, always a good shop to keep in your back pocket. It's not often that you're going to need to come back because there's, you don't need very many for the fights that you need Starveils for. You would need theoretically 1 for Golbez, maybe 2 for Ashura, maybe 1 for Wyvern.
Oh, there's the hook. The hook in Fabul.
Very early. That could be our way underground because Leviathan is a safe boss.
And with the Falcon on the list, you just go for it?
No, I'm looking for a Magma
you
Key.
check, yeah.
The launching the Falcon is a terminal objective. It cannot give you a key item and thus cannot give you additional forward progress. So and on top of that, it takes about 1.5 years, even when you've got power overwhelming. So you want to skip it entirely if you can. Now, I'm going to imagine that XPankraz will go there next. Will go to the hook route immediately after turning in the rat tail because he'll want the character there.
That's also a point. Guerin in chat pointing out that the Darkness Crystal is go mode.
Oh yeah, our runners are in Darkness Crystal go mode. Isn't that great? Isn't that great?
An evil wall in the waterfall.
Yeah, it's not Demus, so it doesn't matter. Nice to see that out of the way and sort of, if you're someone who bothers to track bosses, and I know Xpankraz does bother to track bosses, knowing sort of what can be in the way is very nice.
We have a brief check of the shops of Silvera here. On Xpankraz's side. Rhybon collecting the hook. And having already launched the hovercraft, we'll gain a small beat on Xpankraz here.
Yeah, I would say the only difference so far is a slight setback in Rhybon's opening movement, which might just be, Twitch being in the way. The runners may be closer even than they seem. And he's really only behind. Yeah, the spoon from the rat tail. Would be nice if we find Edward. Hopefully we don't find Edward.
We've already got a harp for him to play. Xpankraz heading down to Evelyn.
Crystal armor in a chest in the Evelyn cave. The best defensive piece of gear in the game, and it doesn't feel so bad that you can't Zerg Cecil when he's wearing it when you don't have a Zerg caster in the party. And in this flag set, your swords typically aren't as good. Oh, that's no in the only shop. Some of us know what to do about that.
Nitsky in chat asking who is the hero? It is Dark Knight Cecil.
And Rhybon, having collected a spoon, will do the same. I don't know if having looted Damsian Basement, he'll loot more than just these couple, along the way free chests in Cave Eblin. Rhybon didn't participate in the previous tournament, OMG, where you kind of had to loot everything along the way because when anyone can equip anything, a heroine robe in a box is gold. Here, heroine robes are very useful still, but not golden.
Xpankraz doing a little bit of looting and returning to the shop to purchase an ogre axe. Interesting move. Rhybon having enough stuff to just make that purchase straight up.
Yeah, the Ogre Axe, unlike its name suggests, deals extra damage to enemies which are considered giants. So the Stale Men, the Mad Ogres, the Mac Giants, the Red Giants on the moon.
And then both of them found an ogre axe in the treasures in Eblin. Ouch.
Yeah, but we have two characters in the party that will potentially want to wield, and that's a free boss.
It's a Dark Knight Cecil burning Young at the... So Dark Knight Cecil will be taking the Rubicon spot, and Young will be joining the party here in Eblin Cave.
Yeah, Yang has been very useful in these flags in particular. You know, he's a character that doesn't need a lot of gear to go, and so when the gear isn't very good, he doesn't really care.
Just needs a couple of claws, and away he goes.
I mean, if you get enough levels, he doesn't even need the claws.
Right now we have a pretty melee-heavy party with Cecil and Sid and Young.
Oh, and a difference in, a bit of divergence. Rhybon is skipping over the Staleman.
Xpankraz here in the save room, heading over to fight them. Setting up his radio with that Odin summon and seeing if this will do the job. Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, Odin has a base accuracy of 0, which means that the only accuracy it receives is the bonus accuracy a character gets from their wisdom stat. Radia, being a very low level, has a rather low wisdom stat. And even if it would hit, there's a 50-50 chance it fails anyways. It is very unlikely to hit Odin with a low level Radia.
In Baron Inn, we have a replacement Sid, and the first fight was Elements, and the second is our Gauntlet.
This is a very easy gauntlet. The Thor Rages that we start with via the Freedom Kit will make quick work of most of them. Like all the piranhas, the only enemy of note that will... what are they called? Electfish are healed by lightning.
And we do have some divergence here, as Rhybon goes to clear out Baron Inn, Xpankraz is heading up Ordeals. And I was distracted by Rhybon. I didn't see what came out behind the Staleman. Did you spot the pickup there?
I didn't, but it wasn't a key item, because our tracker didn't catch it as a key item.
Nothing more on the tracker. Yeah. So, Ordeals 1 is a free fight, King and Queen Eblin.
Yeah, not where our runners want to see it. Maybe where we want to see it, because it means it can't be somewhere that's potentially harder.
Won't be seeing them in the back of the Giant of Babel.
I think Yang started with a Charm Claw because I saw a Charm proc on Rhybon's screen.
And on Pankraz's side, they became conscious. And are now becoming unconscious once more. And for the second fight, the back attack, we have... I saw Valvalis.
Okay.
I saw Valvalis.
That's problematic. That will confirm to us. Well, Ordeals can't have a lot. Oh, Ordeals could still have a magma key.
Yeah, we do already have the hook. Yeah. Or it could be behind Baron Inn. We'll find out.
Could be behind Baron Inn. Could be
Just a
behind
moment.
any of the monster boxes that we haven't cleared yet. There's the magma key.
It's behind Baron Inn.
And now that Falcon is not being launched by either runner for a very long time.
Unless they can't find the pink tail.
Well, they have. I suppose if they can't find the pink tail, but they would also have to not find either half of Forge, and they have 5 key item checks in their objectives. I would be very surprised if both along the way of finding darkness and completing the darkness objectives, that something else doesn't pop up.
And we know they sure can't be gated behind the Falcon. Rhybon immediately going to cash in that magma key. Pankraz over at Tomasa? Now my brain is going to be Troya. Thank you. Tomasa is not in this game, I don't think.
No, Tomasa is Final Fantasy VI.
There we go. Thank you. Yeah, Pankraz over at Tomasa to pick up Strago and Realm, and no, wait, we're definitely in the wrong game at that point.
I would love to have Realm in this game. She's got great magic stats, and I'll figure out how to teach her some spells.
Pankraz heading to the Tower of Zot. Checking the monster in a box here.
Yeah, the Flame Dog. He's got a black sword. He can kill it just by holding A. With the way the agility pans out, a black sword puts Cecil at an agility where the dog is RA2. It takes its turn and has 0 ATB by the time Cecil's turn fires, and so it gets the proc. Swoon!
Swoon indeed. Rhybon not heading straight underground, but at least cashing it in.
The Sand Ruby. This could, if this Sand Ruby is edge, we can do Ordeals.
And Rhybon going to get the bad news at Ordeals 1 and Ordeals 2.
So in theory, our runners could do they could do the back tech right now if they had a stack of Cure 2 pots using Cecil's Dark Wave, which ignores defense. That is a very long and slow way to defeat Valvalis, so I will not be surprised if Rhybon also ditches the mountain.
Pankraz looks set to do Cave Magnus. Picked up a black chocobo.
I mean, it's an objective.
Yeah.
He hasn't done the... Oh. No, he's going somewhere else. He set up a save there. What?
Interesting.
Oh, he's checking the sand.
He's going to check the Sand Ruby, yeah. And Rhybon has chosen Violence to remove the King and Queen. And the Sand Ruby is indeed an edge. Good call. That makes an interesting difference in party now.
Yeah, now we're doing Ordeals. I'd be surprised if he doesn't, because he can just throw some darts, and yeah, the immediate reset from Rhybon as well, because we are not in a position to do this anything resembling quickly.
We'll get a check of the infamous Kaipo item shop.
Yeah, I imagine
Kinda
Rhybon
likely.
might not be checking that tonight. I've got a sneaking suspicion. Which will be very bad for him, because it's the life potions that we might want to have.
Rhybon heading underground. Now this seed is starting to open up. Rhybon's going to crack open a siren here and bash an egg. Get some experience on the party.
Yeah, Rydia has stopped, so it is perfectly safe to smack it with a weapon that does not insta-kill.
Could the black sword take it out with a swoon proc?
It could, and it did. The timing on
Indeed.
it is tricky because the egg is actually pretty quick because, it contains the yellow D inside. Which means you have to have a decent amount of agility to get it to RA2 to be able to get the swoon proc. This strike, and there's no visual indicator of when the egg takes its turn because it does nothing until it hatches.
All right, now, can you explain that to me? Because I don't understand how the swoon proc seems to work, but apparently Rhybon does and got it twice.
So the way that the status procs work is when an actor on the screen is hit by an attack with an element, and that element is a status, it checks their the invisible ATB gauge. If they have 0 ticks of ATB, it applies the status.
Okay.
And it will never apply the status to a relative agility 1 character because they'll never have that, like, with the way the pointer moves, they'll never have that 0 ticks. They'll always be ready to take their next turn when the pointer comes to them.
All right, that makes sense. Rhybon in the Cave of Summoned Monsters, heading down to check the freebie and probably to give us a look at who's standing on the throne there. And xPankraz, meanwhile, has reached the Dark Elf. We are going to hear some music. And as tradition dictates, we have a whole bunch of possible music selections that it might be, so I believe Scar and I are going to be stepping out of the way and letting you all hear what that is. Oh, and there's the legend sword in the freebie chest. So yeah, we'll step out of the way and let you hear the music of the DJ Spoony B and the twin harp, and I'll be listening to it too. So we'll catch you on the other side.
It's always a shame when the boss at the Twin Harp has in its script to change the music. Golbez, Dark Elf, I believe, Dr. Luque.
And we have a vanilla Dark Elf at the Dark Elf spot, so Rhybon going up the Tower of Zot. Meanwhile,
Yeah, Zot is or not Zot. Wait, no,
or
he's in the Tower of Babel.
Babel. This lore. I am on a roll tonight.
All right, and we've got a Baron key, which is surprisingly not gated behind Luca key. I'm gonna have to file a bug report about that. But the Tower of the Lower Babel is a very good play because the tower key and the top of the tower are K main checks and thus have good weight. And the 4 alerts are, well, as you can see, very easy to one-shot with an Earth Hammer. And so even if they're a little less likely than, I believe it's probably about a little more, like with the way it the monster boxes are added to the key item pool in a weird and honestly punishing way. It's like you shouldn't you almost shouldn't go for the monster boxes until you need to, with how few of them are actually your key item checks.
Xpankraz going up Ordeals again with that edge now in hand to take a second crack at Valvalus.
Yeah, plenty of darts along the way. The dart command also ignores defense.
And there's the payoff. Rhybon is now in go mode with that darkness crystal.
Oh yeah, not even gonna go to the top tower. This is a tricky position to be in. Like you're in go mode, but you don't have. His party sucks. He needs to do Ordeals, because then his party will be good. But to do Ordeals, he has to get through, and he wants to do Ordeals before his grind at least.
Well, yes, because then you'd have to regrind for Cecil, I would suppose. Oh, he's going to check I bet he'll check the character on the moon.
Oh yeah, you definitely check the character on the moon in this situation. And folks are bringing up in chat on my ramblings about the monster boxes as key items. The more boxes there are in a spot, the less incentivized you are to go there. The one-offs, so Cave Eblin, the Stalemen, the Mad Ogres, the Flame Dog, the Last Arm, and the Hair Dryers are all almost the same weight as the key item as a K main check, and they're really good to take. But anything else, if it isn't easy, shouldn't be done.
And without even saving, Xpankraz is going in check the key item in it's the pan. That's an interesting thing to find. Unfortunately, it might lead him down that path and away from the tower. Cecil became a paladin, and he'll have something to challenge, and it's the Antlion.
Yeah, this is Dancing Daggerville, population Cecil. There's no real magic defense to speak of at this location, so you can just Dancing Dagger usually 3 times to get what you need.
Interesting to say, Rhybon is in go mode at 31 minutes with no goals completed.
I mean, back when there weren't any goals, you could get into go mode at the 30-minute mark with no goals completed.
Oh, those were the days. That was when last time I actually played a seed. And Rhybon checking out the shops at Kaipo. Yes, Elven Sorrow, we have found life potions in Kaipo item shop.
Rhybon is still shopping. I bet he wants silk webs. Be able to slow down. Oh, some more exits. That makes sense.
And Pankraz with a full party and a powered-up Cecil going back to Eblin, probably to check these monster chests, because that's all that's left here.
Yeah, this makes sense from this position because Edge sort of gets the ball rolling as far as clearing these, because the flame will take out the skulls in the Staleman skull chest, and we have ogre killing gear to take care of Staleman.
And we will see who the character on the moon is, thanks to Rhybon, going to check the looter throne. And where Fusoya was once sitting, we will find... Drumroll, please.
Kane. All right, this party's rocking. Kane can do the grind almost by himself sometimes. If you get enough gear on him, he can do a Machan grind by himself. And he is a solution to Valvalis.
That does make Valvalis a little more palatable.
Ooh, the Adamant Rock from the Staleman skull chest. So if
and the legend is in the free free chest, yeah. Which means that launching the Falcon probably is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen for Pankraz. Rhybon is in go mode unless he gets the pink tail. Unless he gets the pink tail, he is launching the Falcon, because there's no reason for him to come back to Eblin.
Very good point. And out comes Odin to play, and Odin brings the sword.
I see some folks are asking if Rhybon has a white mage. I will counter that and say that Rhybon does not need a white mage, and Rhybon's setting up he's checking what encounter seat he's on by just taking random encounters outside of Baron, which means he's going to go grind with Dark Knight Cecil in the party. He is going to completely fade Ordeals. This is entertaining.
Of course, when Dark Knight Cecil switches over to Paladin, he returns to level 1. Makes a slingshot very viable, though.
It does make a slingshot viable. What it also does is makes him an anchor, because level 1 Cecil has 13 agility. If you have a Dwarf Axe, that can bring him down to 8 agility, which means that the slowness of Sid, which is usually his downfall, isn't that big a deal, except that, once again, there's an Avenger in the
Mad Ogre chest.
The Mad Ogre chest. That's where one was. There was one there last game too, I think. And once again, Rhybon's being punished for not going to. This is unfortunate. We do get to see something very cool, which is a runner not lean on Paladin Cecil and instead do whatever strategy this is.
Meanwhile, Pankraz is going to go take on the very easy elements fight, and claim his duplicate Sid after the gauntlet fight, and much more importantly than that duplicate Sid, the Magma Key.
Rhybon's going for 1200 strats.
You'll
this is
have
not
to run
going
that
to be
one by me.
Okay, so if you nerf so when do you know about nerfing the Big Bang settings? Zeromus' spell counter is set by a counter before the Big Bang goes off. Okay.
Yep.
So the maximum damage you can take from a nerfed Big Bang is 1200. So if you get everybody above 1200 hit points, and then you get everyone, and you have a big stack of Cure 3s, and you have a big stack of Star Veils, and we know where we can buy Star Veils, and a big stack, and either the Crystal, or preferably like crosses, or one of the items that isn't diet food, that like like heal pots, I think, even can do it. Like anything that effectively mimics a spell, because a lot of those things which mimic the effect of a spell are actually just that spell. Like a heal pot actually just casts the heal spell.
So is the plan then, with a whole bunch of Star Veils and a whole bunch of items to mimic spells on Zeromus, to reflect Zeromus's own nukes back at him?
Yes. It goes a lot smoother if you can find vampires, because you can use the vampire to deal direct damage and heal yourself until you've dealt 40-ish thousand HP, and you know that the next few hits would tip him into the HP refill. So it's reflect strats with a lot of extra steps, and this is going to be really cool to see.
Well,
it's going to take a while, but it's like
yeah.
He's but he still has a ton of moon objectives to do. Hold on.
Yeah.
He's gonna get a lot of experience from the moon objectives. So I think this grind is probably cut short, just because he doesn't need a huge grind. Probably.
Ouch, that hurt.
Yeah, no, these mech giants, they don't mess around. They've got I think like 160 by 10 or more for their attack power. So they can do upwards of 1600 damage.
Meanwhile, Pankraz threw the gauntlet, obtaining his magma key and his spare Sid. And for any watchers who don't know, Rhybon is also taking advantage of the life glitch. If you are fast enough to get a life potion or spell onto a dead monster, it will revive, and in so doing, will die again immediately, because when you use life 1 on a target, it revives the target with hit points equal to 5 times its vitality stat. And monsters in this game have no vitality stat. This gives you credit for 2 kills, for the price of 1 kill and a life potion.
Also, long swords for edge. Edge weapons tend to be a problem in this flag set. The long sword is like the worst good weapon he has. Like, it is more damage than a mute knife. And I've said, on the record that mute edge is ready for Zeromus. But I usually say that when they've got a reflect comp and you're not actually going to be swinging with edge. So I'm thinking Pankraz's hope might be that you could get Ninja Blades on the shop. I think you can get no, you don't think you can get a Mur on the shop on T Pro or an S Pro.
Frankie Boyne's pointing out that Pankraz is going to be at 10 key items once he checks the Feymarch freebie. 10 key items, of course, doubles the experience that these runners will receive, which will make Pankraz's grind much faster.
Yeah, if he even does a grind. If he checks the Feymarch freebie, he's going to have Forge in hand, and Cecil's Forges are the Lightbringer, which, imagine if the Crystal Sword had 50 more points of attack and gave you extra agility. So you got an extra, so you're doing you're doing hundreds of extra damage compared to a Crystal Sword, and you've seen what a Crystal Sword can do.
I have indeed. We're also going to get 3 key item checks here on the pan, but sorry.
Yeah, 3 on the pan. Or the Gigant Axe, which is a 75% accuracy Crystal Sword. The Piggy Stick, which is effectively an X-Cal with no stat plus, so it's still a very good sword. And a couple of other items which are actually useless.
Drain Spear for waking
Unfortunate.
up. Decent dart, though, isn't it?
Oh, it's a very good dart. It's, with 88 attack power, it scales very well, because the base damage of a dart is the weapon's attack power times edge's level, and then there is I believe it's random 0 to the weapon's attack power. or 0 to 250, or 0 to the damage, or 255, whichever is lower. I don't quite remember the dart formula, but the basic is weapon power times edges level.
xPankraz in the town of, or in the cave of summoned monsters, not in the town yet. I'm gonna check out this. Gonna check out the. It's got a light sword on Cecil. He's gonna check the warrior chest, and Cecil will be covering everybody since they all have 1 hit point.
Yeah, it didn't matter what weapon he put on Cecil, so long as he took off the Avenger, because you can't cover while you're berserked.
You're far too angry. And once more, he's going to bring out Odin to play.
Yeah, in the center slot, you get a 25% accuracy boost, and he's got a little bit of gear on Rydia, so this is not a gambling play per se. This is likely enough to hit that.
Odin brings the knife, and away we go. And Rydia has virus now. That will make a difference. Just a dwarf axe, but the experience is nice. xPankraz now having both halves of the Forge quest and 10 key items.
Black belts for sale in the Fame Arch, very nice. I believe we saw that earlier on Rhybon's screen.
We did, yeah. Important enough for xPankraz to go selling loot.
I think the axe he sold was extra. He probably looted one, or is banking on Forge being good, or he knows he has a Charm Claw in his inventory and thus doesn't need Cecil to be wielding giant killing gear.
We have a Mylon and a is that a guards, Baron guards in the King's spot?
Yeah, so that was either Mylon or Mylon Z, and Baron guards, or the officer soldier fight, which a lot of folks call the Kaipo guards.
xPankraz going right away to make the shiny weapon. Hands over the Legend Sword and the Adamant Rock, and makes a very, very happy blacksmith. Rhybon concluding his grind.
Ooh,
got
the
a
flan sword. Yeah, that's got a base power of 60, and it does extra damage to slimes. It is... If you are in a situation where you need to use the flan sword, you are in a situation where you don't need to use the flan sword.
I imagine Zeromus does not count as a slime.
No. That would be cool if he did, because then it would be on par with his other swords exactly for Zeromus. But there are no bosses that count as a slime.
Unfortunate. xPankraz, meanwhile, going to finish off the pan checks, get 2 key item checks from Sheila 1, or from Sheila. Sheila 1 and 2. Ninja gear and a white spear. Not even going to keep that.
Yeah. No, he's looking for key items. He's looking for the darkness crystal.
Yeah.
Because he's been in darkness go mode for about 30 minutes.
Both runners have been. What we need, or what he needs to do, is find it. It's in the Keyless Tower, and that is where he's going to check. So, this is going to be a race very soon.
So it looks like Rhybon did just shy of a full, like a few giants shy of a full grind here, hoping for the giants to finish off his experience. This could be spooky if this is exactly... Okay, no, this isn't dull.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this could still be spooky, but this isn't spooky for his experience.
I was just thinking I know a few people who are a few giants short of a full grind. Anyway, Ogopogo, my Canadian brethren. All right.
All right, it's time for a Star Veil, because you could reflect Rydia's, I guess, Fire 3s and deal considerable damage.
Why would you not cast them directly?
So Ogopogo will counter any. He has a counter to all spells, and a specific counter. He has specific counters to elemental spells. I forget what they are, and any non-elemental magic he will counter with Blaze, which is the same effect as Big Wave, which you're going to see here from the Silk Web Taz. And he realized that.
Rhybon backing out.
This is a very unfortunate situation for Rhybon.
Is Ogopogo doable here at this point?
Yes. He's got a bunch of... He has a lot of Cure 3s I saw. Probably anticipating needing them, which he doesn't have a White Mage, he needs them.
xPankraz will be getting the Darkness Crystal on the next treasure check. And will join his fellow racer in Go mode.
Notably with the same party comp, or with a very different party composition. Edge instead of Edge instead of Kane.
And also not bothering to check top of tower at this point.
No, he has no need. He is in Go mode. He in fact is in Go mode. He's in the quickest Go mode he could be in, because he'll finish the, I imagine, Ribbon Room last, or the White Spear Altar last, depending on how he feels for his XP situation. And
gonna go immediately.
Yeah, he's probably gonna grind.
Yeah, crack some sirens. And leaving that edge on the, or edge Yang on the ground. Potential for a big slingshot. So again, for anyone who might not know, if you have a character who is 5 or more levels below the median level of the party, they receive double experience, which in a big grind situation can result in one character going from well below the median level of the party to well above it in a slingshot maneuver. So now the rest of the seed kind of rests on who's at Babel 2 and Bahamut and White Spear and Ribbon. So who do we want to see there?
Well, if you're Rhybon, you want to see exactly Kaipo guards at the next spot, so that you can clean up any grind that you missed off of, this Ogopogo if Rydia goes down. And us, I want to see orbs. I want to see vanilla orbs.
Vanilla CPU?
Yeah, it would be annoying.
You don't want to see the CPU at Cave Bahamut or anything fun like that?
I guess CPU at Ribbon Room would be also annoying. Have we seen Rubicante?
We have not seen Rubicant.
Because Rubicante at the second spot in the Giant of Babel is genuinely dangerous. This is probably a wipe for Rhybon.
Oh, with the double big wave, yeah.
Double.
Oh, Azura's coming out.
I misread his Rydia's HP. He's probably fine.
Yeah. For any who don't know, the big wave does 25% of a character's max hit points. It's not distributed, so it just does that much damage. So when you see 2 big waves come out, that's half the max hit points on the character. And it'll be interesting to see if Pankraz is going to take this Kane into the party.
He hasn't done a grind yet, so he might. I don't think he would, though. It doesn't seem like we don't have a lot of, we don't have I mean, he does have an Avenger, so maybe.
Azura giving a fairly nice life.
Oh, he still has a Sid to get rid of. Yeah.
Right, so Sid will be removed for Kane on Pankraz' side. Another double big wave on Rhybon's as he continues to bash against the Canadian Danger Noodle. He gets another life from Azura. And Pankraz going to set up his own grind on the Mac Giants. Didn't like that encounter seed. Trying again. I'm not entirely sure how this works, but they count steps, I believe, until specific encounters. And that tells them where the encounter seed is, which will tell them where the searcher with Mac Giants is when they go to the Giant of Babel.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's a chart that's been shared in the Discord and sort of just lives there pinned in probably more than one channel about how many more encounters you need to take based after the first encounter, based on how many steps it took to get that encounter.
Rhybon continuing to bash it out, taking a couple big waves. Rydia goes down. Ogopogo still standing strong. Dogged obstinacy from both sides in this fight. Neither combatant giving nor asking any quarter. I don't know, I'm just using sports cliches I've heard before. Rydia getting an ill-timed life off of that Azura. And a big wave going to wipe out all but Kane in the party. Oh, and Cecil surviving with a single hit point.
One. Cecil living with one because, well, not because of rounding, but like from full, Kane, Cecil, and Sid can take 5 big waves because their HP isn't a clean multiple of 4.
Ooh, and that's a tough loss to take there. Rhybon considering what to do here, I think. That's a good question. What do you do in this situation? You're stuck with the fight.
I know what I do in this situation, and it's something we don't want to see. Something Rhybon, and I don't want to suggest that he's thinking of forfeiting, but sitting on the save screen like this is pretty indicative of I'm done with this.
Pankraz, meanwhile, getting a back attack. And starting the grind. That's another possibility. In chat mentioned it could just be frozen. Stream could be stuck. Oh.
Nope, he's forfeited. which
that's unfortunate.
no, it's fine. It's exactly what I would have done in that situation. I understand this completely.
Oh, for sure. That's a tough spot to find Ogopogo and to just not have to be blocked by Valvolus at Ordeals and then Ogopogo there, especially after having done the grind up there.
Yeah, it's and you didn't find the alternate go mode. But hey, but xPankraz still has to finish out the seed to claim the win. And with 10 key items and a slingshot set up on a character he wants to sling, it looks like he's slinging Kane and probably Yang. So this is going to be an 8x8 to get Rydia to nuke. Because if you're here, you might as well do the full grind to nuke. Because if you're looking at doing the Giant of Babel, you might want nuke for it.
And after that grind with this team in play, whoops, there's a bit of an early life.
So he's going for doubles.
Yeah. With this team in play, it should be... Oh, and he gets one. That's good. The rest should fall pretty quickly. Unless we have something truly heinous behind Ogopogo. Or at the...
Ogopogo's the big blocker here.
Yeah.
Because with 10 key items, even if xPankraz doesn't go to nuke, with 10 key items, he gets to nuke. There's only about 20,000 HP at that spot. So unless it's... if it's Mage's Sisters, that's a problem, except that I think he has a Mute Knife, so it's not really a problem. Could be Rubicant's. I think Rubicant would be a problem, except that he'll have nuke by that point, assumedly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically it's the 4 bosses that... well, 5 bosses that stand between xPankraz and the Crystal once he's done this grind. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to talk about right now. We're just watching xPankraz put on a clinic on how to fight Mac Giants.
Yeah. This is a very this is such a weird party. Like these are 5 characters who are, well, I would say 3 of the characters are really good, like exceptionally good in the flag set, and then Edge has his niche. Rydia has her niche. Right now her niche is stop, and that she will be learning nuke.
And he's still playing for double life glitches and getting them fairly often.
Yeah.
He got one here. Yeah.
With the wonky way everyone's turn order turns out when you have really fast characters like Edge and really slow characters like Rydia in a party with this sort of medium fast anchor in Cecil, you can, if you're, and with the ATB delay introduced by Yang's Power Punch, usually you'd have Yang doing most of the work here, except that he's only got a Charm Claw on, and it looks like he doesn't have a lot of strength gear on because he's only doing, and he's off slot, and the Charm Claw has low accuracy.
And xPankraz putting a stop on that Searcher and going in for the kill. Finishing up this grind.
Yeah, he
and
went for the
bringing in
full million.
yeah
Looks like he
1.1
got.
million. Yeah,
Looks like his counting did not include his doubles, which when I'm doing a Mac Giant, my counting doesn't include my doubles. 55 levels
55
on, I
levels.
think, Yang. Either
I think that
Cecil
was
or
the
either
Kane.
Kane or Yang. Oh yeah, that's Kane. He's level
Yeah.
65 now.
Yeah, and Yang at 64. And yeah, here comes the big equipment. How many does that Yang have? Did I misread that? So 6,000 hit points on that Yang.
Yeah, so that unfortunately, like, his HP curve implies that he would actually have even more at this point, but the developers, didn't give him an HP curve past level 60. Like, he doesn't gain or past a certain level. Like, once he reaches that 6,000 HP threshold, he just isn't going to gain HP anymore.
Well, in the vanilla game, he's usually out of the party well before you're anywhere near these numbers.
Yeah, but like, I think there is a lot in the code which implies the developers of this game, and a lot of sort of little story events that imply that the developers of this game intended for you to re-get these characters later. Like, sure, Palom and Porum are a chief example of this. They have fully fleshed out spell lists, but without a long time spent grinding.
Yeah, you'll never
You're not
see
going to
them.
see them in vanilla unless you do some some very silly glitches like Wylam and Rivers McCown and some of the folks that are, I think, I don't remember who all was involved with it, but seeing the nuke glitch on the 1.0 cart, getting Palom to nuke just before Ordeals.
That would be some power there.
Yeah.
Pankraz, meanwhile, is headed into the upper section of the Tower of Babel. I think has decided to launch the Falcon rather than bashing against the Giant of Babel.
Yeah, he doesn't have the pass in hand. So there's and skipping the giant is you don't need the giant's hard bosses, and the only reason to do the giant is when you have to, or if you I guess if you see that your opponent forfeited, you can assume that the giant's why.
Yeah, would Pankraz know that Rhybon has forfeited?
It is information that he has access to.
Okay. Oh, we got Dark Imps at the King and Queen Evelyn spot. That should not be too much of a challenge.
No, with an Avenger in hand, it's nothing. It would actually have been very spooky if it was our intended underground access.
Pankraz is just going to let Kane use that Avenger. Not even going to bother putting in the command. And just going to go after that Dark Knight Cecil. Is he going to take the Avenger off to fight him, or is he going to try and take him through damage?
I don't know.
Looks like he's just going straight in. The Dark Knight at the Rubicon spot. Not doing all that much damage. Okay. I know at the King and Queen Evelyn spot, Dark Knight Cecil can be a real beast.
Yeah, here it's free.
And alas, we will not find out that justice is not the only right in this world. Oof. That Yang put out some damage.
Yeah, if you notice, the Dark Knight is only doing about 300 damage a swing. I think it caps at 400. So if you have 1300 HP on Cecil, which is pretty accomplishable in most seeds, you can just sit there. Even if you get him to 1,000, you can sit there and get to his turn in time to have him heal himself.
But just one step before, he's doing 1,400 damage.
Yeah, he's doing he's a lot tougher. He is a genuine roadblock at that spot. And with the be no free flag, that particular interaction means he becomes an unsafe boss and wouldn't gain logical underground access. But that's not something xPankraz had to worry about in this match.
I guess we knew the magma key had to be somewhere because Dark Knight could not gate the.
No,
the underground
not in this flag set.
Oh, not in this flag set. My
Yeah.
apologies.
Yeah, sorry. Honestly, I shouldn't be bringing up flags that aren't in the flag set.
It's okay.
That's on me.
And objective number 3 is complete with the launch of the Falcon. 3 more to go. And I suspect that we will be going straight to the moon to take care of Cave Bahamut.
He's having lunch with Nameway first.
As we all should.
He's getting his party into their final turn, their final order, and he's going to rename them probably into something funny. Or something nice. Put Rhybon in his party.
Mm-hmm. Lovely display of sportsmanship. Rhybon, GG's, let's 2v2 again. Now, I believe according to tournament rules, xPankraz still has to finish out the seed in order to claim the win.
Yeah.
But I don't think, looking at the numbers that his party is putting out, that is going to be anywhere near a problem.
This is also true. I don't think, especially since having launched having found Forge, he can fade the giant and doesn't have to deal with the shenanigans that is Ogo without a white mage.
Not even checking first, just going straight there. And there's Rubicant. We're talking about Rubicant in an awkward spot.
This ain't it. The magic power here is relying on the fact that Mega Nuke is a very powerful spell. So these Fire 2 counters aren't going to be a big deal. They should still tickle, but 9999. Lots of damage.
10,000 damage from that Ice Brand in Kane's hands. Or he swapped out the Ice Brand for the Avenger, I guess. Does he still carry on the Ice Element then?
Yes, so when a character receives the Berserk status before their action enters the queue, so if you cast Berserk on them and it lands on them while you have their menu open, you can switch their weapon, or you use the Avenger to do so. It keeps all the stats of the weapon they were holding, and so it would be the I don't remember the exact power of the Ice Brand, but it would be the power of the Ice Brand, the accuracy of the Ice Brand, and the Ice Element.
Right, well, that's one of the 3 bosses down. We should be seeing the White Spear and the Ribbon going down pretty quickly after this. Is there anything at all that would present a challenge here for Pankraz?
Challenge? Meh. Annoyance? Plenty.
Well,
Mage's Sisters would be
that's
annoying.
yeah. Half the
Steel
the
Lunars would be
bosses in the game
annoying.
present
Golbez would
annoyances
be
somewhere.
annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Golbez, of course.
Um,
And we've already seen Evil Wall and Bahamut.
we
Bahamut's
haven't seen
a whole lot of
Wyvern.
challenge.
If this is...
Wyvern,
I don't know how his immunities are across the board, so if this is, say, Breath Wyvern, it would take some finagling. But he just has so much damage that, like, not much stands in the way. Really, the only thing that could stand in his way is Ogo, but we know he's not going to run into that.
No, we know where Ogopogo is. And Ogopogo is taking a vacation from the moon, sightseeing in the glorious Giant of Babel. Far away from his home in Lake Okanagan.
I wonder how much that flight cost from that lake up to the Giant of Babel.
In American or Canadian dollars?
Whichever number is bigger.
Oh, Canadian then, significantly bigger. Our money is worth like 70 cents on the dollar to the Americans. Alright, White Spear Altar, what do we got here? Place your bets now. There's your CPU.
And here's annoying because we've got some darts. Oh, and he's going with the Avenger on. This is...
Yeah.
I mean, I would say this is potentially dangerous, other than he's probably fine.
Yeah, I think this will be pretty smooth.
Yeah, he's going for we fondly refer to as Plan Q, where you just take out the orbs immediately and let your melees do their trick. Like, you can't... Well, okay, I guess you can, but you cannot reasonably back row Yang and his damage, and so having him deal his full damage to the CPU here will be very useful. These orbs are killing you. The magic power is calculated in a very strange way. It's like, I think it's based off of the enemy's level, and the CPU is a pretty high level enemy in its normal position. And Global 99 is just, I think, the most powerful spell in the game.
It's supposed to just straight up do 10,000 damage, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's there are some spots where the magic power is very weak, where you can see it do much less than that. If you have a well-geared Fusoya at the top of tower, you can see him outright dodge a Globe 199.
And Plague is just over next door from where he normally hangs out. And it is the final countdown.
Da, 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 da.
Somebody call Europe.
I imagine they're just waking up with the time zones.
Looks like it'd be about that time, yeah. Though it is a Sunday, maybe they're sleeping in.
Perhaps. There's some folks that work on Sundays, though.
Me, for example. Organ Mike has to go play the organ tomorrow morning. And will we make it in time? Cutting it close here. There's zeros across the board, and Plague goes down at the literal last second.
Yeah, his cane might have... I don't know what relative agility cane was there, but again, under the hood, FF4 is a very broken game. If you have if you have one relative agility, one Zerker in the Plague fight, the game's pointer moves in such a way that it never properly processes that everyone is supposed to die.
And we got the Luca key from the Vanilla Ribbon Room. I cannot imagine that Pankraz will be going to check that.
Nah, there's no reason. There's no reason for him to save even. He's just going to drop down to a battle speed he's comfortable with and go for it.
Yeah, not bothering to save, taking the long walk down the lunar subterrane because no pass was found. And maybe that pass is in the sealed cave. Maybe it'd be worth a check. It would not be worth a check.
No. So pass in sealed cave only saves you time if the boss is literally free.
And of course, as this long walk to Zeromus continues, we have to point out that we cannot randomize where Zeromus is in the room, in the game, because Zeromus is far too dangerous and far too complicated. So instead of randomizing where Zeromus is, we randomize who Zeromus is. And Frankie Bones putting a Z flag in the chat to remind us that we have, over 600 sprites now that Zeromus can be?
Quite a few.
Once that crystal is used and his true colors are revealed. So the question that we always ask, Scar, would you like to do the honors?
Have I seen this one before? No, it's whose butt are we kicking tonight? But but really the only thing I'm worried about is it a new one?
Is it a new sprite?
Was it added in 4.6? I don't know if any were added in 4.6.
And Edge with the crystal. Zeromus shaking off. The crystal coming out. Blaze of light. We should be seeing a Grurg shortly.
His true colors emerge.
His true colors are emerging, and we have that. Zeromus. I have no clue. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
Neither do I. I guess Kefka called and he wants his money back.
This is the low-rent version of that tower. Apparently it's from Romancing Saga 2, according to chat. Here comes a nuke, which will receive a nuke and counterattack.
That nuke was reflected.
Was it reflected?
The Silk Web will receive a nuke and counterattack.
Yeah.
But getting him down is so much better.
Yeah. I don't think we're too worried about hit points here. We're going to see a big bang once, maybe twice. Oh, I see.
Not a lot going to happen. We've got some darts to relieve ourselves of.
Got to lighten up that inventory in case you find some good equipment after this one.
True. More importantly, you can't take it with you into the next one.
And the Big Bang, which has been nerfed because Zeromus' magic power goes down when he casts a nuke spell, and if it's timed properly, except for that first one doesn't need to be timed, but after that, if it's timed properly, that lowered magic power will remain in place for the Big Bang. I think there are ways you can raise his magic power too. I think with a virus, is it not?
So if you use anything that is any of the call spells, so any of Rydia's summons, he will counter with a party-wide virus, and when he casts that virus, his script sets his magic power to something above. I don't know what it sets it to, but you get like an extra 300 damage out of the Big Bang potentially.
And Pankraz looking like he's going for a reflect kill.
Yeah. He counted his damage very well.
Yep.
Knew at what got him probably down to about 14,000. I think 14,000 is the threshold. made sure that he got him down to less than 10,000 with a reflected spell so that he wouldn't counter with the monster full heal ability. That way he could dart for the kill, which is a very swag maneuver.
Good game to Pankraz. Well done.
Yeah, well played. This is a very jetty seed. I don't know if he's going to join us for an interview, but if he is, he'll be shortly.
It was definitely an interesting watch. And fun for me too. Most of the time when I come into a seed to commentate, they go to like 2 hours. So it's nice to see one coming in a little bit less lengthy.
Yeah, a little under that. And we are joined by Pankraz. Good game, Pankraz.
Well done.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
So how did you feel about that one?
At what point? That's always the good question. The intro, you start off, it's rather low power. We'll go with that terminology. But you're staring down your objective set, and then the objectives show up. You have Magnus, you have the hook, you have the ability to do things. You're in Darkness Crystal Go mode. Where the hell is Darkness?
How'd you feel about that back attack?
I left. You saw exactly how I felt. I did not want to. I looked at it, I stared at the Val loading in before me. I said, not today. I don't want to dark wave this. Maybe an edge will turn up soon. Anyway, I'm leaving by.
And then an edge turned up.
Yeah, and then an edge turned up weird. Had just done, I forget what it was. Was it last night? 2 nights ago? It was 2 nights ago. I wasn't here last night. Did a doors pickup race, and it same thing. Back attack Val. And I dark waved through it, and I cast Cure 1 a lot of times with Rydia, and I killed my party a lot of times to reset the petrification, and I didn't want to do it again.
That's fair. I don't think anyone ever wants to do that.
No, you don't want to. And, it's always a risk, especially when, Darkness Crystal Go mode. You have a Cecil hero. You want to get that paladin. You're staring down a Mac Giant grind with a crystal armor in hand. And my god, cover strats would be nice right about now. But what you going to do about it? Are you going to invest the 6-7 minutes, or are you going to go try to find something else and maybe come back later when you actually can do it fast? And I elected for option B and got lucky that the Sand Ruby turned up from petting the dog, shoutouts to the dog, and Swoon. And then B, that it was Edge. I'm glad that I save scummed that before Magnus, because I was thinking exactly, I'm like, man, Edge would be pretty useful right about now to make this a little bit better. Let's go check it.
Well, certainly it seemed to work out for you pretty well.
Definitely. A lot of luck there in that early or kind of middle game aspect. The 20-minute mark or so. I made a couple choices. They worked out well for me.
Mm-hmm. Anything you would have done differently, knowing what you know now?
Oh. No, not really. Ultimately, I think that things went pretty well for me. What I would have done differently is maybe got an Odin to land once or twice more. That would be nice.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Honestly, 2 for 4 ain't bad. We're batting average, and I'll take that any day of the week. But yeah, pretty well ran. Couple, movement mistakes that, I'll have to go to 6 a.m. to fix, but ultimately, I didn't do a ton of extra checks, just kind of what was in the Fey March. Leaving Baron, I think, was 100% the right call, especially starting down Darkness Crystal Go. I have the Pan and freebies, and maybe there's something free in the Fey March, and I'm at 9 key items. If I get anything, I can pop some eggs and grind up and make things easier. A lot of good decisions in there, so I don't think I would change much.
That's very reasonable, yeah.
Are there any particular modifications you hope pop up for next week for your next opponent?
I want fast heroes. I just like fast heroes. That's it. I wasn't really expecting or planning to take looting for keys this week, especially after last week. I felt a little drained doing the 1 hour, 50-minute full clear, moon dives, and everything. Then ultimately this week, the choice was between, looting for keys and earn your keep, and I didn't want to play on Be No Free. So I figured, we'll do it. And I'm hoping that we get something interesting. Hoping that, I'd like fast heroes. I like some of the hero pool modifications because I don't think we've gotten many of them.
Yeah, I think we got slow heroes one week, and no one really went for it because no one wants to deal with tele changing rooms.
Telechanging rooms or a Fusoya, and well, I'll play those. Like, I wouldn't mind a fast or slow heroes. I think that either of those would be fun. I want to play some Be Unsafe seeds, and I want it to hit. Whether that's a wyvern on gaining your progression, or it's a barren basement thrown boss of some kind that says die. Like something to really kind of stretch that rudeness factor would be a good time to me.
Well, maybe you'll get what you're looking for.
Fingers crossed. I can only hope that the wheel obliges.
Well, it's getting late, so we won't keep you for too long. Is there anything else you'd like to let everybody know?
Not really here. Big GG's to Rhybon. I appreciate everything about working through my schedule. Like, he schedules the midnight race when he's waking up at like 7 a.m. for his normal stuff. Yeah, he's training for a marathon, getting ready for a whole bunch of things. And appreciate it all. Hopefully, like the naming scheme says, we can do some more 2v2 next season, whether that's back to the classic tango, some door shenanigans, or what have you. And thank you all here tonight. Appreciate putting on the show. Appreciate you all turning up for the midnight extravaganza. And hopefully we'll continue seeing you into the semifinals and beyond.
Well, thank you for running. We wouldn't have much to restream if you weren't running for us. So, always good to see the runners out.
Oh yeah, I'm just glad I could make it quick enough for you guys. So that way I don't keep you too long. So I won't keep you any longer. Have a great rest of the night, and we'll see you soon.
Have a good night, Pankraz. GG.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Well, I think that wraps us up, right?
Yeah, that's it for us tonight. So if you've been hanging out with us, thanks very much. We appreciate having you here. I'm Oregon Mike. We had Antidale restreaming for us. We had Frankie Bones clicking the tracker buttons, and I've been here in the commentary booth with Scar. And thank you, Scar. It's been a pleasure commenting with you.
And it's been a pleasure commentating with you, Mike. So we're not going to rate out anyone. It's late. Have a enjoy the rest of your evening on your own. But the races start up again tomorrow morning. John Burkhead versus Matic, Game 3. It's going to be hype. It's going to be there. I'm going to watch it afterwards because I'm going to be sleeping through it because I was up this late commentating the other match. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.